This is Mike Fair of Mishawaka, Indiana, and just a few points behind is Tom Martin of Portage, Indiana. But this machine is awesome. It's a 64 fiberglass Corvette running a 454 Chevy with 1,200 horsepower. Margo, this is a monster.
And keeping that 1,200 horsepower on the ground is his main objective tonight. And with that adjustable airbag suspension he uses, I think that's really made it tough for him.
Here he goes. Mike Erdely, and look out. He locks it up and makes it through. Whoa. Again, Mr. Toad's wild ride. And the crowd loves it.
But he really kept it driving in the mud that time.
Yep. He's a real serious competitor. Let's take a look in slow motion. And the clocking 2.17 seconds for the Mud Shark. Not too bad, Margo, at all.
Planed up, got a really good drive, and he kept it under control.
So the Mud Shark, first out, 2.17 seconds. This is Back in Black, Matt ACKER of Denver, Colorado. He's 24 years old. It's a 74 Ford Bronco, 460 Ford engine, 2,400 pounds.
And would you believe he started running this automobile as a stock Bronco?
And he gets through it, bouncing and rocking and rolling through that real deep mud pit. Let's check it in slow motion. Back in Black, 2.59 seconds. Not quite as fast as the Mud Shark. All right, coming up now, this is the Nitro Express, one of the top drivers in the business, Clay Langley. He's currently 6th place in the overall standings, and it's anybody's race for the top spot because all three of the main contenders are running here tonight. I like this machine, Margo.
It is definitely unique, and you could bet that Clay has spent many hours in his garage making it run.
Yep. Its sponsor is Iski Racing Cams. It's a brand new 407 Chevy engine, Top Gun Nitro system, a 32 Austin Roadster. This is the Nitro Express, and the crowd leads forward in their seats. Watches it, looks, well, not too good. Just didn't get that strong a drive off the line, Margo.
The motor tacks up, it runs really strong, but he is pulling 2,600 pounds through the mud.
There's somebody who's not pulling 2,600 pounds. Let's check out the time. 3.14 seconds for the Nitro Express. Pretty slow for Clay.
I'm afraid he's watched the sport advance around him, and he's going to have to get himself with a new chassis, I think.
Well, there you go with the Nitro Express. This is an interesting machine. This is STURGES, and it's a Ford pickup. It's called Half Pint, a real sanitary Ford pickup, and the time to beat is 2.17 seconds. The Half Pint rocks through there, looking good, locks up all four wheels, and goes all the way through the tracks. Again, 2.17 seconds he's got to beat. If the Mud Shark could hold that lead, he may be the new world champion. Let's see what happened. Here's a slow motion run for the Half Pint, and the clocking 2.68 seconds for the Half Pint. Not quite fast enough.
If you've liked it so far, don't go away. We'll be right back with more Cut Tire Competition.
Welcome back to Tucson, Arizona. I'm Larry Huffman. Let's go to Margo King on the floor with Clay Langley of the Nitro Express.
With the help of a new sponsor, Iski Cams, Clay Langley was able to make it across the pits in good style. Clay, we're about to see your run here. Are you going to be able to tell us about it?
Well, I'll try. Okay, one thing that I started off, I didn't hold my brake long enough to build the stall converter up, and I was having a lot of steering problem there for some reason. I think I let just a little bit too much air out of the front, and it was just all over the place.
Well, he does get excited. This is the Mud Special, Perry and Julie Hicks of Independence, Missouri. It's driven by Perry tonight, a 74 Jeep CJ5 with a 440 Chrysler. He runs aviation gas and nitrous oxide. And 900 horsepower. Here's the run. He's got to be 217, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he's going to make it through.
He really never even got his motor tacked up and got off the starting pad there, Larry.
No, he sure didn't. Tough break, but he is stuck in that gooey, thick, really, really deep mud. And that's the tough break for the Mud Special. The time to beat, again, is 2:17, the Mud Shark. Let's go to Margo on the floor with Matt ACKER of Back in Black.
The racers work on their cars all week long, but when the green flag drops, a lot of times when you hit that accelerator, the motor just doesn't respond. And that's sort of what happened to you this week, Matt.
Yeah, the nitrous leaned out on me a little bit tonight.
and you're going to have an opportunity to critique this run. What
Well,
happened?
it started out real strong, and right about here, the Nitro started leaning out, and you can see it firing out the tailpipe.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of times tuning has to be done on the racetrack, and Matt will have to get ready for next week.
Okay, back in the action. This is Locomotion. Larry Jarrett of Perry, Oklahoma. This is a custom-built funny car, and if you go back to the old sprint car races, you're going to feel right at home. Look at this thing. It's running a 468 Chevy big block engine. It's blown and puts out over 1,000 horsepower. Now, Jarrett has 60 acres in Perry, Oklahoma, includes a mud bog and motocross track right in his own backyard. Here we go. And he launches. Looks good. Through the traps and locks it up. The Locomotion, a good run. Spewed dirt all the way up in the stands. Let's take a look in slow motion. Remember now, 217 he's got to beat. No, 237 for the Locomotion machine.
Really an impressive run for a man who is new to the sport and basically built this car completely with his own ideas.
Well, coming up, ladies and gentlemen, the top two drivers. The Enforcer, Mike Fair of Mishawaka, Indiana. Now, the third place Mud Shark has taken the top spot so far tonight, and if the Enforcer's going to pull out on top for the World Championship, he's got to come in first or second in this race. And if anybody can do it, it is Mike Fair. It's an 88 Jeep, but unlike you've never seen before. 468 Chevy, 1,400 horsepower. Now, if you've watched our shows before, you've seen Mike and the Great White Hope, and here's the start. And a good run. I think we might have a new leader and possibly a new world champion. 217 he's got to beat. Let's take a look in slow motion. The Enforcer, 220, 3/100ths of a second off. Margo, that's awfully close.
Oh, just one of those breaks. You just never know how to get those few hundredths of a second out of your run.
That gives him second place. And now it is all up to this man. This guy is the only one who can stop the Mud Shark. This is Tom Martin, the Mud Patrol of Portage, Indiana. A 32 Ford Coupe funny car with a 541 Chevy big block engine. Brand new sponsors for Tom, Vans Enough Auto Parts and Grieve Trailer Manufacturing. Now, if he can pull out a first place tonight, he'll move into the top spot on the point series. His parents, John and Norma, will share the spotlight with him because they're his pit crew and travel with every show. Here we go. Let's take a look at it. He revs it up. He's waiting. Tom Martin of Portage, Indiana. This guy is good. They don't come any better. Again, he's got to beat 2.17 seconds, rocketing through the mud. Whoa, Nelly! Margo King, he flat got it on.
What an incredible run. I think that's like the best I've ever seen him do.
Unbelievable. He knows it. He's happy. Tom Martin. 2:03. Incredible for Martin. Look at this guy. He is happy. The Mud Patrol, let's take a look back in slow motion. Now watch it. He does everything right. 2.03 seconds. Unbelievable. Let's go down to Margo King on the floor with Tom Martin of the Mud Patrol.
Tom Martin and Mud Patrol have been a dominant force on the mud racing circuit. And Tom, tonight you took home the gold, and you're going to get an opportunity to critique your performance. But overall, what'd you think about it?
It was one of my best runs ever.
All right, well, let's take a look at it right here.
Well, we launched it off, right there, hit second, and right as I crested the hill, third gear, and the front wheels came up, and then I locked the brakes up, and it was all over.
And luckily we did it in slow motion, so you had time to talk about it.
That's for sure. It was quick.
All right, a quick run, that's what it takes to win them here in Tucson.
So let's take a look at the results in this very competitive cut class. The Mud Patrol comes through the last run of the night, 2.03 seconds. Mud Shark second, 217. He was the first car out. The Enforcer third with 220. Look at how close they were. Locomotion fourth with 237. And in fifth spot, Back in Black with 259. Coming up, you've never seen anything like this. The funny car Tug-Of-War. Don't go away.